Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Memorial Day. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very good. Happy Memorial Day to you.
Why, thank you.
Coming up later in the program, we're going to be talking with a dude that does makeup. He's a makeup artist for stars in Hollywood. So,
Oh, that'll be a cool one.
yeah, going to get some makeup tips because I need as many makeup tips as I can possibly get. So we're going to be visiting with Matin Maulawizada. I'm going to have to ask him how to say his last name again. They told me, and then I already goofed it up, I'm sure. Also, I got a quote for you from Leonardo da Vinci. I think I said all of that right. It says, who sows virtue reaps honor. There you go.
Okay.
And if you sow virtue, then you also reap honor. But there you go. Our quote for today from Leonardo da Vinci. Some special things going on this Memorial Day. We'll tell you all about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. First of all, it's Monday, May the 29th. Today is Memorial Day. That's probably the most famous thing for today.
Nice.
But we got some other stuff, too. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Learn about Composting Day.
Okay.
It's also Prayer for Peace Memorial Day. I'm cool with that. International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers Day. It is Put a Pillow on Your Fridge Day as well.
What?
I don't know. All I know is somebody in our house is celebrating. I noticed when I got up this morning, there was a pillow on the fridge.
There was not.
Oh, there wasn't? I'm just dreaming. There will be when I get home. I'm going to put a pillow on the fridge. Why would you make that a holiday?
Who knows?
Put a pillow on the fridge day. I don't know. I'm going to celebrate Memorial Day, and I'm going to celebrate by eating as many hot dogs as I possibly can. So I'm going to fire up the grill and do my part to celebrate Memorial Day the right way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. This sounds pretty gross. It came from Pineville, Louisiana, and there's a little tag that says, "Don't drink the water there." According to a report, 60 homes in Pineville had water that was contaminated by sewage for about 3 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
City workers accidentally connected a sewer line to a underwater pipe that was feeding water.
3 months.
3 months. City officials are saying that health risks were minimal, however, because they have enough chlorine in their water to, kill off most of the bacteria. But here's how they finally, as you can guess, most of the residents, by the way, of those homes are livid, and I'm sure there's lawsuits in place already. But the problem has been taken care of. To let you know how bad it was, one resident said their washing machine and their dishwasher and their ice maker and the refrigerator all quit working, and when they tore it apart, they found out it was clogged with toilet paper.
Oh, my gosh.
So if
Yeah,
the
I'd be
toilet paper
furious.
is making it through...
Yeah,
You know
what
what
else
else
is
is-
making it through?
We noticed our ice cubes were kind of brown.
Yuck.
We didn't know why. We just kept on consuming them. That is disgusting. That happened in Pineville, Louisiana. Yeah, that's... I got a bad taste in my mouth right now just thinking of that. Ugh, can't even imagine. Anyway, make sure your water is nice and clear and clean. And is there a way you can... filter it again? Your grandpa had that little filter thingy, the pitcher that he would pour water in.
I can't remember what that thing
Like
was
a Brita,
called.
I think it was,
Yeah.
filter. Because he used to use that to make coffee, and we should do that because our coffee gets kind of skunky on the top. Our
Ours is
water's awful.
Our coffee pot needs to be thrown away.
Well, it's not a coffee pot, it's the water. Our water's awful, but here's the good news. At least it don't have no toilet paper floating in it.
This is true.
So I'm going to count my blessings on that one. They had that problem in Pineville, Louisiana, and you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Swedish government's anti-drinking committee came up with a plan to make an anti-drinking commercial for television. Now, it's important to remember this fact. They were in the process of creating an anti-drinking commercial for underage kids. So what did they do? For realism, they brought in a bunch of underage kids, and they got them drunk for the filming.
Oh, no.
They said, well, it made the commercial more authentic.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. It's also illegal.
But isn't that exactly the opposite of what you guys want to do? Isn't that the opposite of your mission? I don't understand what they were thinking. Anyway, that was the Swedish government there, and this just goes to let you know that, sometimes the brain on drugs may actually be the government's brain on drugs. So there you go. Wow. It's not just dummies that get in trouble. Sometimes it's even smart people who are trying to help. Coming up, we have your moment of duh. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A man has been given a traffic ticket for speeding, and he might have found his way into the world record books too. Clocked on a motorcycle at 160 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is ridiculous. He may have broken the Chicago speeding record. Daymond Rogan was the guy's name. He was given a ticket for jumping. Given a ticket for jumping a red light and weaving, and of course the speeding as well. Although Rogan was riding at breakneck speeds, at least he was dressed safely. He was wearing a helmet and a leather jacket and riding gloves, which, by the way, if you crash going 160 miles per hour, none of that's going to matter.
No, that's not going to help you.
So he's smart enough to say, I want to be safe and I want to wear my gloves, and I want to wear my jacket and my helmet, which is good. I'm proud of you for that, Daymond Rogan. But 160 miles an hour? If you get in an accident at that speed, there is no chance of survival. I mean, you are toast. Your body will be in little pieces on the side of the road. So don't do that. That's a bad idea. And that's why that was our moment of duh for a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day. Environmental health officials in Wakefield, England are investigating a fish and chip stand, Heidi. You know why?
Why?
Well, there was a report that it smelled like fish.
Oh, my God.
It's a fish and chip stand. What do you think it's going to smell like?
We had fish and chips last night.
Well, we had fish chips. Our daughter went fishing, and she caught 4 little tiny fish that were like the size of bait for most people. And then I had to clean these fish. And it has been 25 years since I've cleaned a fish. So I have to admit this on the radio. I had to go on YouTube and search, how do you clean a fish? It's been a long time.
You should have also searched, how do you cook fish?
Maybe I should have.
Because he's like, yeah, let's put it in at, 450 degrees for an hour and a half.
These fish were the size of a Pringle.
It reminded me of the turkey on Christmas Vacation.
Hey, the good news is we had already eaten, so I had some of her fish, and it was good. I was like, oh, thank you, sweetie. Pretty sure the rest got thrown away. In Portland, Oregon, a man somehow managed to steal 800 pairs of shoes from a local Nike store. How do you walk away with 800 pairs of shoes? Unless he's making a lot of trips, that would be very difficult. Some of the medal athletes won at the Rio Olympics are apparently chipping and rusting. So the gold medals and the bronze medals and all of that, they're having some troubles with them.
Oh, so apparently they're not real.
They're like, here you go. This one's actually made out of chocolate with a little gold foil over it.
Wow.
A report says robots could wipe out 40% of all retail jobs in the next 10 years. So they're saying, be careful out there. If you don't take care of your customers, maybe a robot will do it. Nathan and Curtis hot dogs are behind a recall after metal shards were found in their packaging. So if you've ever seen Nathan brand hot dogs, I like those. And Curtis brand hot dogs, bad time for those to be recalled with, this being Memorial Day weekend and all. The critics are now, it says the critics are not being kind to Baywatch, and they were not amused by the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So maybe I would like both of these. Here's the thing I have noticed. Usually when the critics like them, I don't.
This is
and
true.
when the critics don't, I do.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to give them
exactly
a chance.
the same way it goes for me.
The submarine that was made famous in the Tom Clancy 1984 novel The Hunt for Red October, it's the USS Dallas, completed its final trip last Monday when it arrived at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard for decommissioning. So I wonder what they're going to do with that. Do they sell old submarines, or what do they do with them?
I have no idea.
It'd be kind of cool to...
It'd be cool to own a submarine.
Would be cool to I don't know that I'd want to like submerge it because it's old, but if you had it up on land and turn it into a museum or something, should be something. The NFL may be changing their rules and once again allow touchdown celebrations. So there you go. They're going to start having parties in the end zone again. So apparently, that's
I
one
don't
of
know
the,
why you couldn't.
well, before they would celebrate and then they would get in trouble for like
but
waste.
why?
Well, they were wasting the time.
Oh, whatever.
And it was making people mad. So, because if you have a whole team of people who just got a point, against them, they're not happy. So you're always making half the crowd mad.
Whatever. No matter what, the other team isn't going to be happy because
I
they got a
understand,
touchdown.
but I'm
Doesn't
saying,
matter
well,
if
they're
they dance or
going to
not.
maybe allow them to celebrate again. I don't know if they're going to have tea parties in the end zone or if they're going to, just be able to dance a little. I don't know what the deal is, but
they've lost a lot of viewers, so they're trying to do whatever they can to bring it back.
The last couple years, they've had, a lot of the rules and a lot of the things that they've allowed and not allowed. They're saying this is okay, but that's not okay. They're really upsetting a lot of people, and they're saying, you know what? Here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to watch any of it. So they're saying, hey, we'll let them party in the end zone again. Please come back. Final story here, Heidi. The stress of daily life has sparked a new phenomenon. Sleep texting. Yeah. People have a rare condition where they send incoherent text messages while sleeping. And they'll send these to friends and family, and they're completely unaware they're doing it. Sleep specialist Dr. David Cunnington of the Melbourne Sleep Disorder Center said patients have reported sleep texting. There's no studies into sleep texting yet, but a similar phenomenon, sleep emailing, was studied about, 10 years ago almost, 2008. So that's almost 10 years ago.
It'd be a lot harder to sleep email than it would to sleep text. Usually your phone is right next to you. You'd have to get up and go to a computer and...
Who knows? Maybe they have those with them too. I don't know. That's going to do it for your Scoop of the Day on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
80s in the Sand will be happening this November in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
And that'll be here before you know it.
Join us and have a blast with 80s in the Sand.
An all-inclusive vacation with some of the greatest bands of the 80s.
Plus, you can meet some 80s icons from the movies and television as well.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Got a fun guest that we're going to talk to today. Matin Maulawizada is a makeup artist, and he gets to work with all kinds of celebrities to make them look great. And think about this. When you got somebody like Matin on your team, it's easy to look good. But what if you don't have the Hollywood Glam squad? How can we help make you look good without all that big team? Matin's got some tips. Matin, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. First of all, how long have you been doing this, working with celebrities to help them look beautiful?
20 years at least now.
Very, very nice. And I was reading here how you kind of got started when you were in college and kind of had a different path in life that you were going to pursue, and this came along, and it kind of sounds like you just found your calling, didn't you?
It's been fun, yes.
So now let's talk about some tips for people who are listening. Like I was saying, it's really easy if you've got a whole squad of people to help you look good, but most people don't have that. So what are some things that they can do to look good this spring and some cool beauty trends that you're seeing right now?
Great. You see a big reaction from the heavy makeup that was so trendy for a while with Instagram and YouTubers. So people are going more towards a more natural, less texture look on their skin. And that takes a little bit of practice and a little skill. And the way I always tell my clients to do it when they're on their own, or also my friends that want to do it on their own, is to rely more on concealer than foundation. So the less the less texture they put on their skin, the better their skin would look. Also, you can go with a concealer and a small brush and just very slightly and lightly cover any kind of marks or pimples or anything like that you want to cover. That way, when a person looks at your skin, it looks fresh and really sheer. The same thing with color. Use sheer colors in the peaches, light browns, light grays, and really soft sheer colors on the lips are really great this this spring, like a peachy or a pink lips would be beautiful. I've been pretty obsessed with Chapstick Total Hydration Plus Tint right now because these colors, you cannot go wrong with it. You could just keep adding without needing a mirror or anything, and it just kind of gives you a hint of color on the lips for the spring.
One of the things that, there are some people that go to the extreme, and when you look at them, you can tell they've got a lot of makeup on, maybe even too much makeup, but there's others who kind of want to go with a minimal look. So for somebody listening that wants to create more of a minimal or no makeup look at home, do you have some tips on how they can get away with that and still look beautiful?
Absolutely. Again, it's all about texture, so use textures that are sheer. Keep the skin a little glowy, not so matte and not so powdery. Another thing to put away for the spring especially is, or for life, is too much of a contouring and highlighting. A lot of girls have been doing that, and it just looks too stripy and too heavy. That's the one thing that gives away that they have too much makeup on. And also, when you're doing the makeup, it's best to keep the center of the skin where the T-zone is and where people face you closely. That area should be as fresh as possible. So if you have freckles on the nose, keep them on. It's beautiful. Just use less on that area, and then you can cover more on the cheeks. And that way, when people look at you, you look like you have very little makeup on or no makeup on.
Very, very nice. Again, Matin, we're chatting with a gentleman right now that's got a lot of experience in making people look beautiful. He's been a makeup artist for celebrities for a long, long time. And I think right now what we need to do is give everybody that's listening, all the ladies that are listening, if you have like one go-to makeup trick, something that they can start using right away, put it in their arsenal, start using it right away to look beautiful. What would that one tip be, Matin?
The one thing that I really look at when I look at a photo or somebody on a red carpet or a real situation in subway is the lips. The lips need to be really well conditioned and well hydrated, and the worst look for a woman is chapped lips. So I always like to use a scrub. Chapstick Total Hydration has a lip conditioning product it's a lip conditioning scrub that is made out of sugar, and you just basically put it on your lips first, and you kind of work with your finger and wash it off, and that gives your lips a really nice look to begin with. And then you can just put a lip balm on and go out and look amazing. So the lips are pretty important to me to take care of.
And it's made out of sugar. That sounds delicious.
Yes.
Matin, thank you so much for your time today. If people would like to learn more, maybe get some more tips, is there a place online they can find you?
Absolutely. We have tips on chapstick.com.
All right, chapstick.com. Thank you again, Matin. You have a wonderful day.
That was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Again, Matin Maulawizada. Again, if you'd like to learn more, chapstick.com is a website that has more tips. We appreciate you listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
NASCAR was formed in 1948. They've been around a while. I didn't realize it's been that long.
So.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The 1979 Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog peaked at number 25 on the Hot 100 pop music chart.
I love Kermit.
I know you do. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The can opener was invented 50 years after the can.
That's hilarious.
What did they do for 50 years? Go, one of these days, I can't wait to get in there and see what's in this can that's got beans on the label.
That's crazy.
And another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The projection light used for IMAX theaters can be seen from outer space. That's
Really?
a bright, bright light. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The San Francisco cable cars are the only national monument that is mobile. So every other national monument
I
is
didn't know it was a national monument.
Yeah, they're a national monument. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Says the save icon on Microsoft Word shows a floppy disk with the shutter on the disk backwards. So it's actually has been incorrect forever. And I'm sure somebody noticed it and said, oh, that's backwards. Everybody else is like, what? Haven't noticed that. Couple of fun facts for you. Brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Movies and TV with no monthly fee. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Have you thought of starting a home-based business but didn't like the idea of calling family and friends? This top-quality fitness and health products company lets you take advantage of their advertising power to reach people who wish to add a few hundred or a few $1,000s a week to their income by following a simple system. Plus, everyone who joins the team after you benefits you as well. To learn more about how you can leverage your time to help others get healthy and create wealth from home, call Scott Smith at 866-741-7242. That's 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Memorial Day. Have you ever thought, what is the best time of the day to do this or to do that? Like, what's the best time of the day to clean your house? Have you ever thought of this?
No, not really.
A company called Real Simple, I believe it's a magazine, they came out with this list. Best time of day to clean your house is 4 p.m.
Okay.
Best time of day to take a nap, 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Best time to take a nap.
Okay.
Best time of day to take a multivitamin would be breakfast time. That makes sense, to take your multivitamin in the morning and let it work all day. The best time of day to take a dog for a WALK. I don't want to say that out loud in case there's one of these dogs listening, because, you know, they know that word.
Oh, they get excited.
Our dogs do.
Our dogs do.
We'll say that word, and all of a sudden they're like, whoa, what are we going to go for? What? They say 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the best
What?
time of day, to take your dog for a walk.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I just heard our dog's bells jingling just because I whispered the word. I don't know why, but that's why. Also, the best time of day to do a cardio workout, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So if you want to get the heartbeat pumping and, blood flowing and all of that, nice cardio workout, 5 to 6 p.m. Best time of day to go to the post office. What do you think that one would be, Heidi? You've been there a whole lot more than I go there.
Well, definitely not over the lunch hour. That's for
No,
sure.
that's not. That's a bad
I
idea.
would say 9 or 10 in the morning.
That would be a good time. It says from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it says, find out when your post office opens. Arrive 1/2 hour or so later. Because if you get there right when they open, everybody was waiting for them. So don't do that. Best time of day to return merchandise. So if you got something you're going, I don't really need this, 10 a.m. is the time to take it back. Best time of day to go to the doctor, 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. You'll spend less time in the waiting room. Best time of day to ask for a raise, 5 p.m. Only do that if you actually deserve a raise. Otherwise, that's not going to be a good time either. Best time of day to get a haircut, 8 to 9 a.m. Best time of day to fly is around noon. So if you can take a flight that takes off at noon, that's going to be one of the best ones. You'll have more room on your plane. And the best time of day to read and remember what you read is 8 a.m. or 10 p.m. So right away or late at night. But during the day, if you read stuff, you won't remember it.
All right.
There you go. And you're not going to remember any of this, are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
That was worthwhile then. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at ChannelSurferTV.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
I remember a few years ago, we bought a printer, and it was from Lexmark. That's what this story is about. We bought this printer that was like some magical ink-saving,
Sure, yeah,
cheaper
I remember.
than... And I don't even know where that printer is nowadays, but that manufacturer, Lexmark, wants to help you print less junk. They have a new thing. There's an article you're going to print off the internet, and it has all kinds of pages of logos and all this other stuff. They have a tool that gives users the ability to block all those images from being printed. So if you're printing a recipe, but you don't need to have all the other gunk on that page, they're saying use this, and it says it even strips off the printer-friendly sites, but it'll still attach a logo if you like. So most of the features work whether you have their printer or some from another printer. So this is an app or a toolbar or whatever. You don't even need their printer to make it work, because they're saying we're trying to cut down on printing whether you get our printer or not. Okay. That's a good idea. That's really nice of them. That means to me that they really do want to help, not just sell more printers. The toolbar is available for Internet Explorer and Firefox. Is Internet Explorer even still a thing?
I use Internet Explorer.
Do you seriously? I thought they got rid of that.
I don't know. I still use it.
You haven't gotten that memo?
I got the memo. I just ignored it. Delete.
Hey, we quit using this. Yeah, but I haven't.
I prefer it, just like I like Yahoo better than Google.
I know you do.
I'm for the underdog.
She still watches VHS. So. Coming up here in a bit, going to talk about the Tower of Babel. Fascinating story on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you have ever had a chance to read any portion of the Bible, this is one of the stories that a lot of people kind of look back at in just amazement, the Tower of Babel. And it was, and the funny thing is, the church that I go to, we just had a message on this particular topic like a week ago. So talk about perfect timing. It says here, images found on an ancient tablet reveal that the Tower of Babel was not fiction, but it was an actual massive structure that stood in Babylon. The tablet, which dates back to the 6th century BC, was discovered in Babylon over 100 years ago, but it was privately owned, and nobody had a chance to really look closely at it until now. Dr. Andrew George interpreted the text and the images on the tablet. He says, this is a very strong piece of evidence that the Tower of Babel story in the Bible was inspired by this real building. And in the 6th century, it sounds like, is when they knocked the building down. It was a gigantic building, and the Tower of Babel is when, in the story in the Bible, that's when different languages, up until that point, we all spoke the same language.
Huh.
And it was during that we started to babble, we started speaking different languages. So that's have you ever heard of somebody referring to speaking as babbling? Well, there you go. Now you know. I got a link to the story if you'd like to know more. It's at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, have you heard the story about the guy that was calling fish? No, it's not a joke. This
What?
is
He
a
was
real
calling
Yeah,
fish?
fish call. Like a duck call.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a fish call, and it's not a joke. It's a true story, and it's a real invention that Steve Haynes invented. York, Pennsylvania electronic engineer has invented what he says is a fish caller. Hayes says research has shown that fish can hear. So he and a partner have created a patented and electronic fish calling device. He says it took about 5 years to go from brainstorm to patent. Do you think this is a good idea?
Why would it be a bad idea?
I just wondered if you think people are looking for a fish call.
Well, people who fish, I'm sure, would like a
Probably.
fish call.
He says that the fish caller
If it
works
works.
so well that he was surrounded by sharks while he was testing the device in Florida.
No, that's not a good idea.
Maybe you don't want to advertise that. He says, but while the fish caller may attract fish, it has not been a magnet for investors. He's been struggling to get people to buy into this idea. So I wonder if that would be a thing that he could take on a show like Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Because that would maybe be it'd be fun to watch, if nothing else. I haven't watched that in a while. It's been like 2 months since I've seen a new episode. I got to catch up on it. I got every episode at my fingertips.
I'm okay with that. I
like
get a
it.
little sick of
I know.
Shark Tank.
I know. I love that show, though. But this guy, he's not calling sharks, but he was attracting sharks with his fish caller. I think it's a cool idea. And if you're going to go fishing, why wouldn't you? If you're going hunting and you're going to have a duck call, why wouldn't a fisher want a fish call? So I guess it does make sense.
Yeah.
There you go. I guess we'll see if Stephen Hayes, if things take off and we see the fish call everywhere where you can say, hey, I heard that one time on the John and Heidi Show. Coming up, we got some good news. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio. We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news, but it starts out so many times as sad news, doesn't it?
It does.
Sad news that turns good news, and that's exactly what happens here. Headline, woman calls off wedding. Oh, that's not good. Headline continues, then donates it to charity. Despite having planned and paid for a big wedding, 23-year-old Jenna Yorkovich decided she did not want to get married, so she called off the nuptials and found herself with a non-refundable wedding reception at the Nicollet Island Pavilion in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Not wanting the party to go to waste, she contacted the Ronald McDonald House, which helps families with sick children. Ronald McDonald House CEO Jill Evanchek said, "We received a call 2 weeks ago from a bride who canceled her wedding and offered her wedding to us as any way we saw fit. The organization took her up on the offer, and they turned it into a charitable celebration to honor more than 175 volunteers." I think that's really nice.
That's really cool.
It says here, Yorkovich later said, "I was just making the best of the situation that I was in, looking at the positives and knowing that I could help a bunch of other people and show the support to them. She actually attended and gave a speech thanking her guests of honor." So there you go. That's really kind of neat. And it's sad. I used to be a wedding DJ. I did that for like 20 years almost?
Yeah.
And I remember it was probably, 15 years ago, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe even longer ago. I remember getting a call about 6 days before a wedding from a bride that was just broken up, that she said, "Hey, I just want to make sure you don't show up Saturday. We're not getting married now." And it wasn't her plan. And she said, "I know we already paid a deposit. We don't expect that back." And I gave her deposit back. But she said nobody else did. Nobody else gave the deposit back. But I did, because I was like, man, she already... And I thought, hey, I get a night off. That's kind of cool. I never got a night off back then. So I was like, I'll take the night off. But I just really felt bad for her because, and I understand where they can't necessarily give deposits back because that is their business.
Right. And then that night is now not able to be booked.
And if I was more of a business person, I'd probably not be broke all the time. But I've got a kind heart instead.
Yes.
But this young lady did something that I thought was really neat. She knew, I'm not getting the deposits back. I'm not getting the money back. It's non-refundable, so I'm going to use it for something, and I think it's really neat that she did that. If you'd like to read more, Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show has all the details. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Memorial Day.
Time now for a bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today. We've got Cabel Fooshe, and he's with a company that has a really cool thing that I didn't even know this stuff existed before. But for golfers out there, going to want to pay attention. We got a way for you to make sure you can distinguish your golf ball from all those other white balls on the course. So, Cabel, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today.
And we talked a little bit ahead of time because I was like, what a cool idea. Did you invent this? And you said it wasn't you. It was a good friend of yours that invented this little product?
Yeah, a good family friend of mine invented it. 2008, Jim Millar. I was working for him for his construction company. We're in Falls Church, Virginia. And I grew up in Arlington, Virginia, and he invented this. I was playing golf one day with an older gentleman who wanted to mark his golf ball with an R. And Jim's a longtime golfer. We grew up playing at the same club. He's a couple years older, a little bit older than me. But he, I guess after seeing the belts with the images on them, like the flags and the anchors, and he just got to thinking, I'd like to make something for golf balls that makes a crisp, clear mark on the ball. One thing led to another. He came up with some prototypes and found a guy here in the U.S. To help him make it.
And is the proper name the Tin Cup? Is that what they call it?
It is the Tin Cup. It is the Tin Cup, and we've got a great name for it. We're lucky to get the rights to the Tin Cup name. It was an excellent movie, and really, it's been a lot of fun starting this thing. And
the neat thing is, that's a good description of it, too, because I got one. They sent me one in the mail here, and I've got it here in my hand. It's a really cool little tin cup, so that's the right name for it, and it's got a little stencil cut out, and when I got it, there's some little pens that come with it to help, so you can I'm going to pull it out of the bag here, because it even comes in a cool bag that's got a Tin Cup logo on it, but you pop a golf ball right inside this tin cup, and then you use the little markers to mark. Now, how many different designs do you have, and are there custom designs you can get, or how does that work?
We have over 150 designs, anywhere from a martini glass to the U.S. flag. to a yoga symbol, to animals. Cannon's a new one. We have a new one called Not Yours, which is kind of a fun one. And yes, you can customize. You can do this for mom or dad. You can put a name on it, initials. We do corporate work as well. We just did a big tournament for Pepsi in the last couple months. It makes for an ideal, like a member guest outing or a tournament outing, or simply just an individual, birthday or kind of a graduation, whatever kind of gift, because you can personalize it.
We've got Father's Day coming up. It could be a thing where you have like the person's initials, if you wanted to do it as simple as that. The one that I'm holding here, you guys sent me the one that's got the American flag design, and it's really cool, and it's really easy to do, too, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, it's really a very simple product. It's 100% stainless steel. You simply place the cup over the golf ball, and you hold it snug. You get an ultra-fine tip Sharpie, and you color it in. And you'll find out, while you're watching golf or watching TV, you can sit there and mark your balls. And, the cool thing about this is you'll have it for a lifetime. Whereas if you get a logo ball you buy printed, you lose that, it's gone.
Yeah.
This you'll have for a lifetime, and you can mark them up, whenever you want.
And like you and I were talking before we went on the air, the thing that I think is really neat about this is if you're golfing, there's a lot of white balls that look a lot alike. And just because you always use Titleist doesn't mean somebody else doesn't too. So there could be two of you out there with virtually the exact same ball, and now you don't know for sure which one is yours. So the thing that's nice about this, you're absolutely going to know which one is yours, unless they happen to also use the same brand, and they happen to also have the tin cup, and it happens to also be the same design, and they happen to also use the same color. I mean, we're getting pretty slim. It's going to be pretty slim that's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, you got it. You kind of hit the nail on the head there. It's kind of the best feature of Tin Cup is to kind of connect with your golf ball. And when you go out, and we don't always hit the fairway. Sometimes you're in the rough, more likely maybe in a creek it's really an easy way to spot your ball, and at the same time, maybe give you a good feeling as you're about to hit the ball. Say you're Irish and you play the Shamrock. The idea is kind of connect with your ball and have a good feeling as you launch that thing into orbit.
Absolutely. Well, again, Cabel, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. I'm going to give the website here, so folks that are listening that want to see what these are, they're trying to visualize it right now as we've been talking. It's really simple. It's tin-cup.com. And it says right on the little page that I've got here, over 150 designs. And it's a cool idea. And I see there's even a quote on here from very famous golfer Ben Hogan. It says, "The most important shot in golf is the next one." And I like that. That's a fun little quote. And it's absolutely true. And if you don't have a ball because you lost it, because, you got a whole bunch of different balls that look the same, it's kind of hard to make that next shot, isn't it?
It certainly is. It certainly is. And also I do want to mention we're very proud and honored to have tour player Bryson DeChambeau representing Tin Cup on tour. He's the golfing scientist, very interesting golfer. He plays all the same length golf shafts, really into physics and that kind of thing. And he has some lines on the cup and kind of a neat cup. But we're proud to have him playing Tin Cup and being kind of our Tin Cup ambassador out there on tour.
Fantastic.
Fun to watch his career grow.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on that. That's really cool. Thank you again for taking the time to chat with us, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, and you guys have a wonderful day.
Will do. And again, just in time for Father's Day, again, it's called Tin Cup. And like I said, I got one right here. You hear it if I drop it there. It's a little tin cup, so that's a good name for it. You put a golf ball right in there, and you use a little Sharpie to color in through the stencil, and you get to design your ball the way that you want it. So if you'd like to know more, I'll give you the website one more time. It's tin-cup.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.